Welcome to the Millennial Diner podcast. This is Jeff at the diner with Phil, and today, oh, how sick is this? We have Phillipa here. Hey, Phillipa.
Hello, good morning, or good afternoon.
Welcome to the diner. I'm starving. Today feels like, for me, I'm gonna go with the vegan breakfast burrito because you got tofu in there, you got beans, you got potatoes, got some avocado, extra hot sauce, and a coffee with some oat milk, hot coffee.
Oat milk again. Oat milk again. It appears again.
Phil,
What am I gonna do with that oat milk? I'm gonna have to.
well, you should drink it and find out what you're missing.
Yeah, I'm a black
Yeah.
coffee person. So.
Oh, your black coffee?
Are you? Okay. All right. All the way. There we go.
Yeah, so Philip, what are you going to have at diner today?
It's definitely a black coffee, and I was thinking a Western omelet.
Ooh, a Western omelet. Nice.
What's in a
Opposite
Western
of yours, it
omelet?
has ham in it, ham
Oh.
and peppers and onions.
I'm gonna like that one better than Jeff's.
I don't know. What do you think, Phil? You going to get a Western omelet as well?
I'm gonna go with a rye toast with some butter and a black coffee. That sounds good.
Okay. Yeah. Solid and consistent. That's the name of the game when Phil orders his diner food. Well, what, Phil? I'm trying to embrace what I think is a boring palate, but for you, it's dependable, right? And it's who you are.
Right. It's who I am. There's comfort in that. Yes.
Yes. And you know what? I think it's interesting. People do change as they grow up, for sure. They mature. But I think the core part of us is like very much always there. Phil, you have kids. Phil, but you have a kid, right?
I have one daughter, yeah.
One daughter, right? So, do you already see things that you're like, oh, I bet that's going to be something that she has her whole life? Like, have you ever noticed anything like that?
That's a good question. A daredevil.
Daredevil, yeah.
Daredevil? Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My son has the inability to walk in a straight line.
Really?
Just veers to the right, goes back to the left, back to the right, back to the left. It's like serpentine. It's hilarious to watch, and that is always how he has been.
I'm always very curious about that. Like, how early on do we like show these traits that like are just going to be with us for the rest of our lives?
It was there. Well, there's that. Well, the walking thing that was very early, but the other thing is actually his for my son, it was his utter compassion for people. He was a very compassionate person way early, and I also remember my daughter. When my daughter was very young, 18 months, 19 months, maybe 20 months, she once watched my son and I kind of like playfully roughhouse a little bit, and she got very upset about it. And that is something that has always stayed with her, that she does not like watching internal friction between like me and my son, me and my wife and my son, consistently. Has never liked it. It was always be like, no, no, no. It was adorable at 18. But then you're like, wow, that really upsets her. So that was the end of that.
How old are your kids?
15 and 9.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, my daughter's about to be 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're in it. You're in the that stage, and
Yes, that's an interesting stage to be in. I think people lie to you and say the 2s are bad. I think the 2s were actually okay. The 3s, on the other hand,
I could see
that was like dealing
once
with
they like
demons.
really talk and stuff.
Well, yeah, they could talk, and they also realize I don't need to do what you've asked me to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's like when they become demons, and they're like, but actually, really, they're just showcasing their own independence. Really, is what
Yeah.
it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the positive spin on it. Yeah.
That's the positive. That's how we have to keep lying to other parents so that we keep having more children. Yeah, it's totally fine, guys. It's great. You get a manual and everything.
Well, I'm very excited to talk about parents in the scene. Yesterday, when they were recording this, by the time you hear this, it'd probably be like a month or two ago. But nonetheless, I went to Hawthorne Heights' new festival they've been doing around the country called For Lovers. So it was California's For Lovers, but then they've done in Iowa's For Lovers, or doing in Massachusetts' For Lovers. Basically, it's a small little festival day where they get all their friends from the scene from all the years, and they put on this amazing little festival. And I went there yesterday, and it was like them, Bayside, Thursday, Thrice,
Ooh.
Touche Amore. Like it was Alkaline Trio. It was a stacked lineup. A lot of the bands that we've actually already covered on the show too.
Yeah.
What was really cool is it was a Hawthorne Heights, so they played as well. They played early in the day, but they were kind of like the MCs. And they were kind of like welcoming everybody and explaining why they had this festival. And they were very very much proud of how basically they're like, a lot of you here were kids, when you first started seeing us. Now we're all grown ups, we're all adults, and they were really celebrating like this idea of like, everyone thought this was a phase, and that's like the joke. It's not a phase, mom. But like, really, there's like we are. This was unexpected that everybody grow up and be, as they call them, emo adults, and like continue to be. And like, I was just, I heard, there's a term elder emo that's thrown around a lot and things like that. Um, what do you think about that? The fact that this scene has resonated so much now that the one time kids who found it, at these pivotal ages where you need this kind of like uh this, to hear songs that reflect back with the feelings you're going through
Yeah.
and really like make you feel like seen. But to like now, they're a new generation. There's the emo kids of yesterday are having kids today, and they still love this music. I don't know, what's your take on like the longevity of this kind of music?
Yeah, I'm not even sure. That's a good question. I just feel like you were saying, like the music came at a pivotal point in your life, so it's something you just kind of want to hold on to and reflect back. You listen to it and you remember what was going on back then, and just it's special because it was special to you at that time.
I agree. Yeah.
It remains to be special. I was just driving home. My son plays soccer, and we were just driving home from an away game, and we played on the emo playlist, and Hawthorne Nights came on, and Ohio for Lovers, and my wife and I were singing along with it, and Weston's kind of like, he kind of is getting it. He actually asked me like the other day, like, what's Midwest emo, and I was like, that's the Get Up Kids. Just go listen to them. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So he was kind of like, and then disappeared. I did not hear Get Up Kids played after that. I kind of was hoping, and I would have been secretly very proud. But
Um,
I think he's learning what that scene is. He's kind of getting into it. He's 15 now. He's kind of getting into what that arrival of that scene, which is fairly close to where I found like punk. I found punk rock at like 14 with Green Day,
mhm.
and then kind of fell into the scene after that. But he likes Green Day. He will listen to that. He will listen to Fall Out Boy. He's a big fan of that. He's gotten more into some of the emo poppy world. So like
Mhm.
AJR, I think is emo pop. I think that is. He's got some random songs he just kind of plays out of nowhere. Like he likes some MCR, which I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Let's go play more of that. My daughter's the same way. She's already starting listening to MCR and what else have we gotten her into? A lot of older punk rock stuff. I try to get a lot of like Paramore in Paramore. Got her into. I'm trying to find a lot of female-led bands for her so she can see that they're in the scene and to embrace them. She's also a Taylor Swift fan, so you got that
Well,
going
I'm
for her.
glad you said that because I learned a word yesterday, thanks to Hawthorne Heights at this show, where they were giving this big speechify about how we're an
Yeah.
emo's adult, and isn't it great to raise your kids to like emo? Because look, you can come to a festival like this and it's not that expensive. If not, you're gonna have to be shelling out thousands of dollars for Taylor Swift tickets for your kids. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, are you saying bad stuff about our queen? And then he immediately was like, and don't get me wrong, Taylor Swift's amazing. He's like, I don't want the Swifties or the Swemos coming after me. And I
Oh
had it
boy.
like lightning struck me. I was like, Swemos? I finally understand who I am now.
Jeff, that's who you are. Now you understand who you are. You're a Swemo.
I'm a Swemo.
I can't even Swemo. Is it so it'd be
Emo.
SWEMO? Okay, yeah,
Yes,
all right.
Swemo.
Yeah.
It's for those Swifties who, were born and bred on emo music and
Yeah.
found all that in Taylor now. So, but we are not here to talk about Taylor Swift, even though almost every episode I tend to try to make that happen. It's okay.
The show is called Millennial Diner Podcast. Eventually, we're going to have to cover one of her albums.
Oh, I know it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can't wait,
Okay.
right?
Can't wait. Can't wait.
But today is really exciting. This is probably when me and Phil were first talking about starting this show, we made a list of albums we wanted to hit. I'm pretty sure this was the first album on the list.
Yep.
It is, to me, I don't know. It's the backbone of all this. Like this, what we're talking about today is called "Tell All Your Friends" by the band Taking Back Sunday, an album that came out on March 26, 2002, on Victory
That's my
Records.
birthday.
Was it really?
It's your
Yeah,
birthday?
when I was doing research, I was like, "What? Who knew?"
That's crazy.
Oh,
Are you a
what?
Pisces or are
Aries.
you're Aries? Oh, of course. I mean, I'm an Aries too. You're a March Aries. I'm an April Aries.
Okay, got
It's a
it.
whole different thing. But excellent. So this album's an Aries. Yeah, Victory Records. Sal Villanueva produced it. also produced Full Collapse, which we talked about recently in the pod. But before we dive into this pivotal album of the scene, let's hear about your story of coming to this album and the scene in general, Phillipa. Like, how did your music taste kind of come together, and what led you to this scene, and then like where has it taken you since?
Yeah, I would say I had a friend back in like 7th or 8th grade, Casey Quinn O'Connell. She introduced me to Linkin Park, and I was like, oh, I really
Okay.
like this. So then I started like Napster or whatever was around, so I started like looking up other bands and stuff. And I don't remember how I found Taking You Back Sunday. I don't, but
Somehow they were there.
yeah,
Was it like LimeWire, Napster, that kind of
yeah,
thing? Yeah,
yeah. So it
destroying the
must have
whole.
been. I don't know. I really don't know how I found it.
Yeah. Well, I think that way of just you had an entry point, which is Linkin Park,
Mhm.
and that made you like, I want to find out more stuff like this, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
that is the impulse for, I would say, I don't know how Gen Z gets music, but millennials, it was always like that, and
Yeah.
Gen X was like that. Like it was like you would hear something and be like, I need to know more about this. I want more like this,
And then
and
there's
that's how
like
you
a gajillion bands.
right. And then you're like, oh, there's a whole scene of this, and you can never run out, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
What are some other bands that you really like are important to you, and like your
Yeah. My Mount Rushmore, I have it.
Mount Rushmore, your top 8 of MySpace, if you will?
Oh man, I don't think I could do 8, but I could do 4.
Perfect.
So the Starting Line is like one of my favorite
Oh
bands.
yeah,
Okay.
Taking Back Sunday, obviously. Reggie and the Full Effect.
Reggie, yeah.
I love
Reggie.
Reggie. And Minus the Bear.
Oh, sick. Minus the Bear is crazy.
Oh, I love them. Oh, they're so good.
That is a band not a lot of people bring up, minus the bear. That's
Yeah,
very
I feel
exciting.
like especially
Okay.
probably on this show because it's not really necessarily like an emo punk band.
I
Well,
don't. They definitely like. I definitely see that or connection to everything. Like
Yeah.
I could see them,
The content of the songs.
the content, and even like musically. Like if you like go into like that like Coheed and Cambria direction and things like that,
Yeah.
like you definitely can get. That's where the Minus the Bear kind of fits in for me.
I like them too. Yeah.
well,
Very
it's-
technical.
well, yes, but then too, indie music or like true alternative music and emo, they really glide right next to each other, and I don't think you actually can have one without the other. Particularly, because I think most emo music as one, I think emo is taken over as a new term for alternative,
Yeah,
for whatever reason. But then I think the root of emo really starts with alternative music in the mid '90s, and then so then you have a little branch. So I just think, we're they're brethren. Indie rock and emo music are just related cousins. How about that?
Really want to quickly just touch on Reggie and the Full Effect. Have you ever seen them play?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he was so drunk. So
Oh,
he was
yeah.
having a hard time up there, but it was still a good show.
Yeah. He you know what? This is an interesting fact. He is the guy who plays the keyboards, the piano in the Black Parade for My Chemical Romance.
No way.
And when they went on tour,
What?
they brought James Dewey was the
I
guy
had
who
no idea.
did that on tour and stuff. So yeah. So it's like all connected too.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I saw an early My Chem show. My Chem Midtown and Reggie and the Full Effect was the tour. And My Chem was the opener. And it was an awesome show. But like yeah, it was like really cool because like their friendship started really early on. Were you a Get Up Kids fan too, or just Reggie and the Full Effect?
Just Reggie.
Yeah.
He's nice. He's silly. It's fun.
Yeah, he's very silly. Yeah. That music video with the peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, I know. Congratulations, Smacking Katie.
Yes, love it. It's one of my favorites. Phil, do you know that one?
I don't know. Reggie's something I know. I don't know a lot of, and I should go back and really refresh my mind.
That album they had called Under the Tray, and then the CD was actually under the CD tray. I was like, all right, these guys are fun.
Yes.
And Starting Line, I mean, to me, they are just that first Starting Line album is like perfect pop punk emo perfection. Just like catchy songs, all the feelings, really like fun. Yeah, I always enjoyed that. A great one. But we are going to talk about one of the other great ones. When I did my Mount Rushmore way back when we first started this podcast, Taking Back Sunday was one of the bands on mine. And mostly because of this album and the next album and maybe a little bit the third one after that. But It all starts
But
with this one.
who's counting though?
Yeah, right.
Right.
No,
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I mean, it's very interesting to talk about this band in the 1, 2, 3 because they, I mean, this band has so much lore attached to it because since day one, this band's lineup has been a constant like,
Mhm.
who's in this band?
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, well, it's like I'm pretty sure Eddie Reyes is one of the people who started it, but he started the band, and then the singer from Brand New used to be the bass player.
Yeah.
They had a different singer. Then the singer and the bass player left. They brought in this kid Adam from North Carolina who moved up to Long Island to be in the band. Adam Lazara, who
Right.
came up to play bass. Then they were like, their singer left for whatever reason, and they're like, we need a new singer. And Adam, who never sang before, says, I'll try. And he's become one of the iconic emo singers of all time. So, you know, it's funny how that is. But then this album really was the classic lineup, I think. This was Adam Lazara, John Nolan, Eddie Reyes, Mark O'Connell, and Sean Cooper, I believe.
I think that's right.
This album exploded. They became a sensation. They went from playing VFW halls and small bars in Long Island to all of a sudden, like, you know, being the hottest band there was on an indie
MTV,
label.
I feel like.
Yeah, everything. They had a video that was a spoof of Fight Club at the time, and then this was like 2002 when Fight Club was a big deal.
That's right.
And
they shot that at our college.
Yeah, it was shot at Hofstra University. Yeah,
Hofstra University. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like we were on Long Island, so like everybody was talking about this band. They explode. Then over the course of this album, they implode as a band. They're on the top of the world. They're about to like become whatever. If emo was to like become as big as grunge, it was probably going to happen. This band could have been that band, right? They could have been the Nirvana of this kind of music. And then infighting and hatred, and then John Nolan and Sean Cooper lead the band, right? Before the next album is going to be recorded, basically, on the end of this album cycle. And you're literally the band about to be the biggest band in the world, and like they're like, whatever was going on, they were like, nope, we'd rather just not be in this band.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they went off and created Straight Light Run.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And Take It Back Sunday continues on. They get new members to fill those roles, and then like for a few albums, they keep rotating different people out. Different people keep replacing different people, and then around 2009, after they lost another bass player and another guitar player, I guess from what I understand from the story is the drummer was still friends with everybody, and he's been there since day one. And he was like, let's just bury the hatchet and get the old guys back. So starting in 2009, the original lineup returned and has been pretty much what they've been doing since. I think Eddie is no longer in the band now, the original guy, but everyone else has been the same. So this album not only is essential to the scene, but it's really kind of like the classic Taking Back Sunday. This album, I wonder how you guys feel, still is unlike anything else in the scene to me. Like, even though it's been copied and
everybody's tried.
Everyone's tried.
Everybody's tried. You can't
Yeah,
copy this album.
There's it's almost like a mania to it. It's just like the way like the biggest thing about Taking Back Sunday, I think, set it apart is the two vocalists and how they work together. Because sometimes they feel like the secondary vocalist is like singing a different song.
Yeah,
and it's
And
not
yet,
just
and yet it connects.
and it connects.
Yeah.
And that is so effective across this album that like you're getting like, because it's an emo album. This is about relationships. It's about heartache. I mean, this is really like your traditional theme of what emo album is. This is like, we have big feelings and we are going to sing them together out loud and wail, and we're going to do all this, but we're not going to just scream. We're not going to just share songs like you do this verse, I do that verse. We're really going to sing on top of each other at points. And it creates just such a rich experience.
We joked around about this, and that no, you can't repeat them. You know, we can't repeat or recreate what this band did. Their song structure is so unique to them. Like nobody sounds like them, and This album for me is one of the most bittersweet things in the entire world. It is sweet because it is like Jeff, you said, was the backbone of the scene. This is one of the most quintessential emo albums ever, like ever. And it just tells you how great this album is because everybody tries to do this album and no, they just can't. And like in 33 minutes, this is one of the most bangerous albums of them all. Like I almost like Jeff, let's just play all 10 as we go because like really
I
you
know.
can't. Like you can. I'm gonna do my best to not. But it's bitter because I always have felt, although Take It Back Sunday went on to great things, we lost out on what it could have been an amazing sophomore album by this core group of people. And that has always bothered me because I've always wanted to know what they would have sounded if John stayed and Sean stayed and they grew as a band together from there. I think they would have been twice as big.
Yeah.
Because I just think Adam works best against John. The call and answer between them, which again, no other band, everybody can try and do the call and answer that they do. No one else can make it as good as like how they did it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because after this album, I kind of just stopped listening to their music.
Yeah, like they do great things and the songs are good, but like it's not the same. And I've always wanted to know. And even then, when John finally comes back and everybody comes back later on in 2009, they're growing up. We're a little more grown. It's almost 10 years removed. You know what I mean? It's not the same band because they have new experiences that went separate ways and all that. So I just always wondered what
it's
the second album by that group would have sounded like.
But yeah, at that time, at that age, right? Because that's the thing, right? Because I actually, this is a hot take.
Hot take.
Where You Want to Be is, do I like it more than this one? I can't say that. I don't know if I can say that. But I love the second album. I really love it. I don't think it's.
I mean, it's just.
It's not as good as this one. Right. I'm not taking that hot take. But
okay.
I do think it's a fantastic album. But I agree with what you're saying. It's interesting. If that was a fantastic album, and you know what? The Straight Light Run album, I love to death.
That first Straight Light Run album is amazing.
Yeah. So you take those two albums, two very wonderful, great albums, because you took this creative force and you got split up.
Right.
At this point. But I think you're right. Like what would have the follow-up been if this didn't happen? Would Taking Back Sunday have, there's like this, whatever, this emo revival, not even emo revival, it's just that these bands have been around long enough that, like, you know, the scene is an institution. So you have bands like Fall Out Boy and Paramore and My Chemical Romance and Blink who are playing gigantic arenas. Taking Back Sunday isn't. Would they be at that level at this point?
Right. Like I joke around like they might have been the emo, you know, John and Paul, the emo Beatles, and like what they could have done. And it always bothers me because I've always been like, what could have been? What could have been this trajectory with this band, the way they were writing? It could have been amazing. But I will go with what we are, and just go with the next album and so on and so forth.
Well, it's funny because like, as the bittersweet part, as you mentioned earlier, being an emo album, being adolescent type of wild feelings and betrayals and like heartbreak, is there anything more poetically emo than this band falling apart for all these emotional reasons?
Yeah, because everybody had a lot of feelings, I'm sure, in that group.
Yeah. Like,
that's a good point. And then, but also at the same time, but then go back on the sweet side of it. It also makes this weight of this album that much bigger, you know, because this was the one they were all on together, and it was in every equal parts, and it's a solid album. It's a cornerstone album. If you're gonna play emo, this is where you're gonna start.
Not just a cornerstone album of emo, but as Long Islanders like me and Phil, you know, the Long Island Mount Rushmore, it's basically Billy Joel and Taking Back Sunday at this point, right? It's
really at this point. Yeah, at this point. And it's right, because we can't lay claim to Kiss, although their first show, as we learned on this podcast, was on Long Island. So there you go.
There you go. And just recently, Taking Back Sunday briefly sent the social media world afire because they played a secret show in a backyard on Long Island.
Oh wow!
Wasn't it one of their family's backyard?
It was one of their friends. Yeah, clearly it was. I mean, to me, it was definitely, and it worked because like I was freaking out about it. I was posting about it, and people were sharing it, and it looked really cool. And they were basically playing all the songs from this album too. All the
Pretty
video
much.
footage
Of
is
course,
like,
yeah, might as well.
but there was something about seeing them in a Long Island backyard, which is like what I think of this album. Is like this is what I think about. I think about being in a Long Island backyard listening to this album. So
It's first thing I think of is as I go to the VFW route, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, first time I go back, remember seeing them in the VFW, one of them, and one in Islip, I think it was. It was just like, yeah, there's Take It Back Sunday, there they are.
Yeah. I've
Amazing
never
band.
seen them live.
wow,
No,
really?
really?
I was like not allowed to go to shows growing up. No.
Wow.
Not allowed to.
I mean that look, parenting. Everyone's got their rules.
Right.
But let me tell you, if you love this album,
I always
I
wanted
wish.
to go to a show.
I know. I want it, and also the bittersweetness is I just don't think they can pull it off like they did
No.
now. Like I've seen them and like, look, you can hear it in the voice. I mean, it's a higher pitch. It's like it's faster. Like they just, as you get older, it's harder to
Things change.
pull this off.
That's right.
But the thing about the magic of the Taking Back Sunday shows, still somewhat today, but especially back then, was just the sing along of everybody. We're like that line we'll get to later. I got the mic and you got the mosh pit. Like that to me is what it's just this collective of like we're all singing the same intensity as Adam. We're all singing the same intensity as John, and everyone is just like a unit of emo-ness.
Yeah, so I've been to Warped Tour twice, so I kind of like that's really got me into it.
You got the feel, yeah.
Being in the mosh pit and
oh yeah,
the energy and
unbeatable.
I miss Warped Tour every now and again. Just that vibe. Just that's what I love about these new festivals. They keep doing these. Like Jeff, you used to talk about the Hawthorne Heights one. Like they keep popping up and like they're trying to keep that vibe going.
No, and that's what it felt like. It felt like an easier Warped Tour because it was just 2 stages, no bands overlapped. You had time to go back and forth, see everybody, and there was shade, and that's all that really matters.
That's
we're
because
all old now, so we need like time to walk
yeah,
over.
Yeah,
it's being run by us who are now we've gotten older, and like I don't know, I'm gonna need 5 minutes to walk over there, guys. I'm gonna have to hit the bathroom too.
Break.
I need a bathroom break and a water and some shade,
and
maybe some orange slices. That might perk me back.
Orange slices. Yeah.
Sometimes, man, you just got a little citrus, wake you back up.
Phil, I like how you do. I like how you do.
Yeah, I like how you do. That's really. Thank you. Oh wait, you're talking about the song. I'm sorry.
You sound like a soccer dad. So you're.
Yeah. Oh, get ready. There's gonna be plenty of that in the show. We're gonna a lot of soccer dad jokes. Thank you, Jeff. I know
soccer this fall. So.
Oh yeah.
That's the best. Yeah. Two-year-old, right? You said two-year-old soccer. It's the best thing to watch because it's just an amorphous blob just going all over the field. It's the most chaotic thing in the entire world, and I'm here for it because it's just hilarious. And pay attention. And it's a lot of fun if you can. It's gonna be hard, but try not to pay attention only to your kid. Look at the other kids because everybody's doing their own thing. It's hilarious. Like there is no cohesion or anything connected. It's just a blob of. It's just hilarious. It's that and T-ball. I never do T-ball. That's hilarious to watch as well.
What age do kids learn positions? And like your
like
defense,
actual,
like you actually you stay here.
Like 7 or 8. It's like late? and then even then, don't count on it. They all want to get the ball and scoot on down the field to try to take a shot on the goalie. That's just how it is. Yeah, it gets solidified more like in middle school where like you are now. I did get Wesson. Yeah, it was when he started playing in the middle school that he actually had the position of he's a goalie, so he had the position of goalie, and very rarely is on the field, which is good because he doesn't know what to do. he's played goalie so long. That's where he's at. That's how he do. I get that right? That's how he does. Yeah.
Well, the first track, the iconic opening track to this album, You Know How I Do. I don't know about you guys, but I hear that guitar in the beginning, and I just start to like the anticipation just rises with it. It's just like
I love that it starts with a guitar and you get a full like measure, I think, if I do my math right. And then the drums come in and you're like, because you're right, you're like, yes, it is starting. Because even there's like a a feedback like start to it, and then the
Mhm.
guitar
Yeah.
starts. So like it builds that anticipation that the like guest is out in the start, and I'm very excited for it. And then you get Adam's or I don't know who, if it was Adam or John. I do love, if you look at, they often write the band is the one who wrote the song. Always love that when bands do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Then we get into some ridiculous lyrics out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that opening line, I don't know if this is a hot take, but like, is it my favorite opening line to an album? Like, it's just such a simple phrase, a simple turn of phrase that says so much. The so sick of being tired, and oh so tired of being sick. I don't know. It just
I
Yeah.
quote that around work. I'm just like someone. I always start saying I'm so sick. Every time I say I'm so sick, it'll be the next thing I say. It's like so sick of being tired. And well, because it just, you get out of the gate the wordplay, which the band is good at, and it pops up throughout the rest of the album and the rest of their writing, really. I even wrote that, the finest line. Is that really one of the greatest lines ever? I think it is. I think it is.
it, it's I love it because it's simple. It's just so simple, and it's such a, as you said, Phil, like you know what that feeling is. Like right
Yeah,
off the bat, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what it's like to be. I'm so sick of being, well, maybe because I'm 42, and I'm just so sick of being tired because that's all I am now. And then being so tired of being sick, and luckily I haven't been sick too much, which makes me happy. My only question with you for you guys, this is a great song. What do you think this song's about? I got a feeling, and I wanted to run it by you guys, but I wanted to see what you guys thought first.
Do you
So
want to go, Phil?
you
I think
got
it's kind of
something?
like emotional exhaustion. So he's like,
Okay.
give it to me. How bad could your life be, you know?
I like that.
I
I
think
like that a
Yeah,
that's
lot.
it.
Jeff, what do you think?
I think this is kind of a, to me, what I take from it, this is a call to arms kind of song, where
Mhm.
like we're not going to waste our time with people who aren't 100% with us or in this.
Okay.
You know,
I
that kind of vibe.
Mm,
see. I take that vibe and I go off a slight, because there's a lot of drug references in here,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's the band,
I
really
didn't think of that.
the band going like, look, if you're gonna be in, because like Adam has, has had some issues. I don't think it's them speaking to him, but just that idea that if you're gonna be deep into drugs and whatnot, this is not the band for you. Because like if you're kind of doped out, you're sick and tired, right?
Hmm.
There's a reference in here about smoked out, the hazy eyes. Like, we won't stand for hazy eyes anymore. No, if so you're not clear, and there's clarity and we know where we're going, we're not gonna stand for it anymore because it's we. So I always feel like the band is talking about this, and it's, I think you're right, Jeff. I think it is the band's call to arms out of the gate, saying what they stand for, and that's where I'm at.
No, I definitely see that. It's interesting. I feel like what's, again, and this is what makes a great song, right? Like it could be literally about someone who's been doing too many drugs and they need to get their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
But that could also be the metaphor too. Like when we
Right.
say we don't stand for hazy eyes anymore, it's not that like I'm not gonna like stand for you being stoned anymore. It's like they keep repeating that. We're not gonna stand for something that's diluting your feeling or
Right, whatever it is, it doesn't
yeah.
matter. Whatever vice you want it to be, but like you got to be all in with us. Like, we're going forward. We don't have, I don't have patience for this anymore. Because he even says like we're horrible liars. No, we're good liars. We're magnificent liars. Like, we're good at being liars, and
Magnificent
um
liars. Yeah.
magnificent liars. Thank you. And like, I also wondered, are different people talking in this song, like different characters talking throughout it?
I definitely think that's part. Like I feel like that's kind of the MO of this album is like that's where you have the different, not just the different vocalists, but like yeah, the different point of views are being thrown around and it's switching
Right.
constantly.
Like a call and response, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
Nobody does this better than this band. And particularly on this album, like the call response, call and answer, like this is, they are so good at it. It's not even funny. And then when they switch the choruses at the end, so John and Adam start one way at the end, and we're doing the lyrics at the end of the song, and then flip it on you, and you're like, oh, and then like they both say it their own way. It's very different. You're like, this song, it just feels fresh all the time,
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
I just want to call out another Taking Back Sunday line that's certified Taking Back Sunday line. So obviously desperate, so desperately obvious. Again, just fun little wordplay of just like flipping around the words, and it's a very evocative feeling.
It is a very evocative. They're wordplay on. They're wordsmiths, is what they are. I always wonder who wrote more. If it was more John versus Adam or other people. I don't know. I don't. That I wish I
Well,
knew.
I'm
Someone
curious
want
too.
us to know.
Yeah, I'm curious too because as we get on later, some of these songs historically are about a rivalry John had with another band member of another band. So like if that's John's story and these songs are about it, then I'm like, how much did John write? Like I don't know. Like
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
really interesting. But again, going back to what you said earlier, Phil, and I keep thinking like I think John Nolan's an amazing songwriter. Like I said, Love Straight Let Run. I like his solo albums he's done, but they never with Taking Back Sunday again does it hit this level.
No, and that's why it's bittersweet. I wonder what it would have looked like a sophomore album with all these guys as they continued to grow musically, artistically, what they would have sounded like.
Well, Phil, I'm not going to stand for your hazy eyes anymore, and I'm going to listen to this song. So, this is the opening track on "Tell All Your Friends" by Taking Back Sunday, called "You Know How I Do." All right, well, that was "You Know How I Do." A killer opening track to the album, sets the stage, gets the mood, teaches you the grammar of Taking Back Sunday, how this is going to work, and immediately you go into one of my favorite songs on the album, "Bike Scene."
Bike Scene. What a
Yes.
weird title, Bike Scene.
Yeah,
Very
I was wondering what
weird.
that was about.
I learned for this. So theoretically or supposedly it is taken from American Thunder, which had an episode titled Monterey Peninsula Bike Scene.
Oh,
Yeah. So there you go. Which the lyrics were potentially inspired by him reading a book by Dave Eggers, which is the heartbreaking work of staggering genius, and then Adam reading Fight Club.
well, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Two books I also read around then, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly, right around there. Yeah, I have a signed copy of Fight Club. From one time I went and met Jack Palahniuk, and I waited in line very patiently. Yeah, I waited very patiently for about an hour after the reading, and I get up to the front, and I sign my book, and he does like a quote, the same quote for every like Fight Club has one quote he does, and then I think I had Fight. It was when Lullaby came out, so it was Fight Club, Choke, and Lullaby he signed for me, so I signed them all. And there's like little one-hit things he says, and so in Fight Club it was Chuck Palahniuk was a signature, but above it said "Get punched." I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I just read the review, not a review, but like the blurb about his new book coming out. And I actually haven't read a Palahniuk book in a long time, and I was actually like, I kind of want to read this one. So maybe I'll dive back.
I haven't read him in a bit.
Yeah.
Because I feel like after a while, I was like, they're kind of getting the same, Chuck. Let's get something new going. Although one of them, he had a trilogy about when you go to hell, you end up in a call center, and that's what hell is. It's just a call center calling people back up, and that sounds funny. So I might try that.
Well, I'll tell you what's not funny. This relationship going wrong in this song.
Everything's going wrong in this song. It is. Everything's going wrong in this song. It has a theme. It has the same kind of theme as like the Clash's "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" Like, should I be in this? Should I not be in this? Like, is it time to go? But then at the end, I don't know. Like, he's like, I think he's staying.
Yeah.
What do you think we're going here with Jeff?
I feel like he knows this isn't working, and like,
yeah,
and like, I mean, I want to hate you so bad, but I can't stop this any more than you can. I mean, this is just like one of those like toxic relationships where
Exactly,
and like
attachment issues.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where it's coming out. And he's like, I don't think he's gonna get out of this.
No, I think he's stuck. Because like even at the end, he's like, you got me right where you want me. Let's never talk about this again. So I feel like it's like, it's an unspoken thing. We're gonna keep continuing with whatever this unsavoriness is, but we're gonna do it on the down low.
Yeah, or just like we're gonna brush it under the rug, and it's like just go about our day, nothing's going on.
We go about maybe that's what it is. It's just denial, just straight up like, no, we're just gonna pretend that never happened. That never happened. I also love that they bring in a woman to do some singing on this song, because I feel like it really connects to the song. bringing in a female.
Like he's in a delicate situation, and she like that
Yeah,
voice like captures it.
Yeah,
and she might even like, yeah, Jeff.
Oh no, I was saying like they do this a couple times the album. It's Michelle Nolan, John's sister,
Uh-huh.
who then later is in Straight Light Run with him.
She's a
Is
pretty
the
voice.
vocalist, a very pretty voice, yeah, and it goes really well as a counterpoint to Adam's voice as well. Like he's got kind of that like wild, like punky voice, and then she has this very sweet voice. Yeah.
Yep. You said, Jeff, this was one of your favorites.
Uh-huh.
Why is that?
Because it's miserable. I can feel the anguish the protagonist is going through in this song. I mean, like they're trapped in this situation, but like they're in it, right? Like you got the silly way of keeping me on the edge of my seat. Like
I love that
this,
line.
yeah, because it's like this is bad, but also like I can't wait to see what happens next. Like there's an excitement to it, and there's also pain. Like I think my favorite line, "You're only counting the clock against the train, and I'm miserable." Like I'm waiting, and like it comes around, and I'm miserable. The way he says it too, it's like that's why I
it's
like
just
it.
like you can feel the anguish.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm like 13 or 14, I was like, he gets me.
I also thought, funny enough, the bike scene title, for some reason, I always pictured like a teenager like dealing with this relationship that's driving them crazy, and they're like at the bike rack, basically, like, what am I doing? That's why I always thought the bike scene, like they're literally like sitting next to the bike scene, just looking emo, like I don't know what to do with this relationship I'm in. This is too big for my emotionally
This is the love of my life, and we'll be together forever.
right.
That's so funny because I always was like thought like, well, maybe it must be like some bike scene in a movie that I don't know that he's referencing, and it's kind of like an inside joke or something like that. So that makes total sense because like when you're that age and like in school, everything that happens to you, you put as a movie. Like like, oh, this big scene happened, and yeah, like the love of my life came is gonna break up with me or whatnot, and it's always it's like the most everything gets bigger and becomes the most biggest thing ever for you.
The most horrible thing that's ever happened.
Ever. It's the worst. Nothing's ever going to be worse than this. No, nothing will ever be worse than this. I don't think that's true because all you gotta do is go to the next song, and I just think it's getting worse from there.
Oh, it's about to get worse, yeah.
But it's about to get a lot worse.
At least it's about to get worse and become an emo classic standard for all time. One of the most popular emo songs, one of the most popular songs this scene, still to this day. Is there a song that, like, when you hear those first guitar strums, like a guitar thing, like how like electric it gets, and then boom, you all jump in and start yelling the lyrics. Like it's.
I think as far as Take It Back Sunday goes, the only other rival to this is when Adam breathes in on Make Damn Sure, and it's like it's because you know what, if anytime you you know what, you're like, yes, I know what's coming right now. That's really great. That's it.
But I mean, that's what they capture. Again, going back to like the anticipation of what you're about to experience. I think that's a perfect example. Make Damn Sure is another one just like that. But we are not Make Damn Sure because that's years away in this timeline, like at least 4 years away.
I think so, yeah.
Because that's Louder Now, the third album. This song we're talking about is called, and if there ever was a more emo title for a song, I'd like to hear it, but it is Cute without the E, parentheses, cut from the team.
Just to clarify it for us that you're cut from the team. Just to clarify.
I mean, just we could spend the time just talking about this title to start with. It is like it's winking at you how clever they think they are. It's like
yes, it's a very, very clever title. Very clever. Just even without the parentheses. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, you're cute without the E.
Cut from the team.
Just like I feel like that's something like you said, like maybe the last scene, like movie scenes, like that's like something where like at the end of the scene, like one person says that to the other and they just walk away. Like it's such a deep burn. You're like, there's nothing I can do that's better than that. That's it. You're cute without the E. Cut from the team. Fade to black.
But yeah, we had that guitar opening, and then he just comes in with this force of your lipstick is colored, don't bother Angel, I know exactly what goes on. And then boom, you're just in it, and it's like fast and it's upbeat, and it's just it never lets up. Like as soon as the song drops, it's like you are just like in this intense mode the whole way through.
And this is where John and Adam really start to shine in the
Yeah.
call and answer. It's this song. It's like this song in particular. The call and answer of this is the standard from this point forward. I think anybody else does two singers. I don't think anybody can do two singers at the same time as well as they can. Maybe Alkaline Trio, but maybe not.
But not how they
No, not how
cross.
they do it, right? Because
Yeah.
like they're kind of, you need both of them to tell the story, because like one kind of feeds the line into the other. Like you get, and with the chorus part, we tell your friends, you've got your gun to my head, moving on down. And will you tell your friends? And then John's like the only thing, and then you've got the gun to my head is I regret. And so like you kind of like you gotta, it's a hard thing to do sometimes listening to them, is trying to pay attention to just what John says and just what Adam says. Also, it has one of my favorite lines ever, which is 1,000 clever lines unread on clever napkins.
Yep.
That is such an amazing line to think.
I love it so much. I mean, the other thing too is you read these lyrics, there's so much words to say. Like it's really, I don't know if you've ever tried to sing this song karaoke. I have. It's tough.
How'd it go? It was tough. Yeah, how'd it go? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fast, and then
You got to pick
I
which
also
one you're gonna do.
right, and that's the problem. Because then I start going down the line on like John's part, and then I realize, oh, now I can't jump the track to get back to the Adam part. Like I literally want, when you're singing aloud, you're singing everything. You're like all your favorite parts. But if you actually want to sing it, you have to like pick your lane.
I give you mad props for trying to handle a two-singer song by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, there's
That's why I like
there's
this
footage
song
of me
too,
on
'cause you
Instagram
can
of
listen
it.
to it more than once and like listen to each different part and like who you're gonna focus on.
Right, and that's it's why you have to listen to this one 5 times to even begin to think you
Repeatedly,
understand
yeah.
everything. Yes, repeatedly. Just keep doing it. What was the one line I was looking at earlier? I stay wrecked, and so ultimately, I don't think this is a great relationship that he's in, and he's definitely caught her. What is she cheating?
Yeah.
What is she doing?
Well,
Or
we
they, I
He's
should
outside
say.
her window watching her. I'm like, he's a stalker.
right. Like I think like you could sit there and be like, oh, this poor guy, this girl doesn't really like him. It's like, whoa, this guy's got possessive issues, because I don't really like, you almost can step back and be like, this character is, like you said, Phillipa, is like stalking, watching her, following her around, seeing what she's doing in her bedroom with someone else. Like, I don't know if this guy is the hero of the story.
I don't know if there are any
I think
heroes.
he's a little delusional. Maybe they broke up and he's got over it or something.
Well, that's what like, is it like, because I feel like something obviously happened. I think the partner did something the narrator did not like. What that is, I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend to understand that. But the stalker part where you're like, or the I'm out your window, it's like kind of creepy, not gonna lie.
I also wonder, in my head, to make it make sense, is this also a situation like, were they even dating? Were they just in a situationship, and this guy just expected her to like him and in the way he liked her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it one of those situations where it's like the dude just wasn't like, he's like, your lipstick is collar, meaning you were making out with this guy, right? Or this person.
Right.
And don't bother, Angel, I know exactly what goes on. Like, you don't even tell me, I know what's going on here. But it's like, do you? Like, is she ever been that into you? Like, that's the thing. That's where the delusion starts to come in.
Right?
Yeah, right?
It's like the precursor to your soul last summer. It's just like they're very connected. I think they're very connected songs. Well, even then, to back up what you were just saying, Jeff, my favorite line, 1,000 clever lines unread on clever napkins. Like, maybe the narrator wrote all these down. These are great lines. He's gonna say it to them, but like he like leaves them for the person he has interest in.
Well, that part of the song. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and they never read it.
No, but that part of the song, like you're hitting on, is also the part of the song where I think the protagonist is being the most honest, where they say, I know you well enough to know you'll never love me.
Right.
But then it's like, why can't I feel anything from anyone other than you? So this is where the part where I'm like, oh, you are like trapped with this. Oh, no worries. You are trapped in this situation that's not going to work out for you. You know this person doesn't love you, but you're like, at this point, they're coming out and saying like, well, why can't I feel it for anybody else? Why am I having feelings for this person? Clearly, this doesn't like me that much.
Like, why do you like something that does not like you back? I don't know. I mean, it's a, kind of I don't know. I don't love putting them into that bucket, but kind of one of the things we ran into at that time frame. We're like, you like something that made it not back, and made me mad, so I'm gonna write a song about it.
Right. And also the kind of wallowing in your self-pity a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I stay wrecked and jealous for this, for the simple reason I just need to keep you in mind. Like, you're doing this to yourself.
Well, yeah, because you're doing it to yourself, but he's also like trying to pass the buck onto someone else in the end, because like like the Adam part is I'll stay wrecked and jealous and whatever, but then the John stuff is like she'll destroy us all before she's through and find a way to blame someone else. I mean, it's just it's is he kind of defending them a little bit? I don't know. It's complicated relationship.
Very.
I love it. I like songs that are very straightforward, black and white. No, I'm just kidding. I like actually complicated things where I'm like trying to have to debate on what.
A little bit.
Yeah, I like the songs that make you think, and after you have to make a decision on how you feel about it. I love that.
Well, I love this song, as I'm sure most people do who like Taking Back Sunday or like this music.
We will be cut from the team if we do not play this song.
Yeah,
that's just how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah. All right. So we better just play it. I don't want to cut from this team. All right. Here is the classic "Q Without the E" cut from the team by Taking Back Sunday. All right, track 4. So as we get into track 4, Long Island was once a heated battleground between two emo bands who came up around the same time. One was Taking Back Sunday, and one was Brand New. They've had members who had been in both bands at different times. The lead singer of Brand New and John of Taking Back Sunday were at one point best friends. And the story goes, there was a dust up about who liked someone else, and became a fight, basically. Like, John punched the other guy, and like they handled it like any emo bands would. They went off and wrote songs about it on their point of view of it. And the Brand New one came out before. There was a song called 70 times 7, which is taking shots at John. So then when this album came out, There's No I in Team is a rebuttal at times to literally actual lyrics and another song.
It's a great clap back. Mostly because of that darn title. That title is really great clap back at Brand New, and I love that.
Oh yeah. But what's interesting is over the years, this became lore and legend, and we've seen it before. Like, you'd meet people from the West Coast, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're from Long Island, so would you like Taking Back Sunday or Brand New? You can't like both." And it's like, no. I think we talked about it in this podcast, actually, Phil, with someone.
We did.
Yeah,
Nadia.
Yeah.
It was Nadia.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like, no, I like them both, because I also remember very early on when this album came out, they went on tour together. Like, that was water under the bridge at a certain point.
Yeah.
Right. It was nothing. Right.
But then things seem fine. Then as we talked about earlier, this band implodes. John Brand New basically sided with John and were mad at Adam and created shirts that said, "Mics are for singing, not for swinging," which was a direct shot at Adam, who's one of his known stage presence moves is to spin his microphone around over his head in between singing. And like, he was like really good at it, like Indiana Jones with a whip kind of thing. Like, it was, wrapping himself up in that mic. That's like his signature move. So then there was a problem between Brand New and Taking Back Sunday at that point, because John and Sean have now left. They start Straight Light Run. Straight Light Run, I believe, if I remember correctly, their first big tour ever
was
opening for Brand New. Yeah.
Correct.
So there was like this like back and forth between this band that just kind of like existed in two different fronts, basically. And obviously, like, if you keep up with the emo news of the day, Brand New has since gone away for various reasons, which we can get into or not. And Taking Back Sunday remains, but like the lore of their conflict is forever here in this song.
The amount of referencing back to Brand New is hilarious. The $20 bill, the tacked, is that what you call tacked? I mean, they taking lines straight from 70 times 7. I mean, it's So great to do that. I love the slap in the face that there's no I in team, meaning that brand new. It's just there's an I, and that's really all there is. Um, is this the one with the pronoun joke in it, or is that later where all the pronouns you write? I think that's later. That's one of the other songs. That that comes up again, but I find the mutual destruction that he's talking about interesting as a relationship between two. I'm going to say at this point, former best friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know that one, he says everything I've learned about breaking arts, I've learned from you. There is, and it's true, and he's never done it with the same style and grace that you have. So he's kind of showcasing what kind of person it is over there on the in brand new. But then you get to the end, and it says just where it's best friends means I pull the trigger, best means you get what you deserve. So like there's some animosity there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. I think there's a lot there, but then I don't know, a lot of anger in this song, which I think is okay. And that's what I was there. It is because he's talking about we go down together. But that's because he started something he couldn't finish,
Right.
and so it just means to me you've got two people who maybe really enjoy it, like you might even say really loved each other as best friends, are so angry at one another that it's like mutually assured destruction. They're going to make sure all the stuff comes out about each other. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I think all of that. I also find the feeling I always got was the protagonist in this song wants to put it behind them.
Yeah.
They're really blaming, like when they say that you wear the black eye like a badge of honor, soaking in sympathy from friends who never loved you nearly as half as much as me.
Right.
They're like you're sitting here being like, oh, look what happened. He hit me. And you're my real friend. But it's like this guy's like saying, like, no, we were friends. We love each other as best friends. And I just wish you could just stop holding this grudge against me because of it. Like, it's almost like the more mature person might be the Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. I think a little bit that it's
Because it's like instead of coming to reconcile with me, you're going to other people and being like, look what he did.
and perpetuating it versus
Mhm.
like let's just kind of deal with it and be done with it, right? But we're not. We're gonna each gonna go. You're gonna go write a song about it, and then I have to rebuttal.
And now I'm
And
gonna write a
here
song about it.
I'm gonna write a song about you. So like, if you could do that, I could do that too, my friend. And I think maybe that's what it is. It's just like whatever you'll do, I'll do in return, which really isn't great. But I think you're right, Jeff. I think there's more here about wanting it to be over, not necessarily go back to the way it was, but just to have it finished.
I just had a memory pop in my head, which I'll now share with you. In 2009, when the original lineup got back together, they did a few shows. I got to go to the show they did in LA, and after John left the band originally, Taking Back Sunday no longer played this song. This was we don't play this song anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was John's song about his friend Brand New, who at that point clearly has a problem with Adam, and Adam has a problem with him, and like not clearly. It was, again, we're extrapolating in our parasocial relationships as we do with everybody. So they played the whole set, they played the whole album and a couple of their songs, and they come out for the encore. And Adam also he came out on stage smoking a cigarette, which is like, that's not what people do in 2009 at a venue. It's like
right.
What year is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But so he comes out and he's just like, I never thought we'd play this song again. And then they played it. And I was like, oh, wow, we're back. We're acknowledging our past and we're bringing everything back with us. So that
cigarette to get him going.
Yeah. But that was their first encore back when they finally got together.
Yeah, he needed the courage with the cigarette to go out there.
The nicotine courage?
The nicotine courage. Well, because Adam doesn't drink, right? So at least I don't think he does. Or so needed something to get back out there.
No, my parasocial relationship doesn't allow me to know his drinking habits.
Yeah. I thought I heard that. I might be wrong. That's okay. It happens. I'm wrong.
I think I heard the complete opposite, but that's okay.
Oh, all right. So then all right. Well, there we
but
go.
Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe that's what. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not gonna dive too far into things that I don't understand because I shouldn't do that.
I'd like to play this song.
Okay, I was going to ask, you want to play
Yeah,
this
I think
song?
so,
Let's
yeah.
go ahead. Let's go do that.
This is "There's No I in Team" by Taking Back Sunday. All right, that was "There's No I in Team," the infamous rivalry song between Taking Back Sunday and the other big Long Island band at the time, Brand New, who we mentioned briefly earlier, kind of don't really do anything anymore. And there's reasons for that. We won't get too much into it, but I think it's important for us to just, since Brand New is so important to the Taking Back Sunday story, just to kind of say something really quick about that, just from our take here.
Right. And that in Brand New, there is a problematic frontman who had accusations against them, and I am inclined to believe him. And so I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the victims of Jesse. It's probably the only time you're ever going to hear me say his name on the show, because I just want to acknowledge that altogether. So we want to acknowledge the victims of Jesse Lacey, and I'll just reach out to them and let them know that we are advocates and supporters of what you're doing and of the scene. And we, a couple times now, Jeff, we've come across where this scene, particularly in the time frame of the early 2000s, is, with not, for lack of a better word, is problematic. And
It wasn't safe for everyone.
wasn't safe for
No.
everybody. We talked about with the Nadia on my chem. We talked about there wasn't safe for women for a lot of things, and it's still not safe in some areas for for LGBTQ fans. So I know I always say it, it's community, not competition around here, but we believe it, that is community on this show, and that this show is meant for everybody, regardless of who you are. So we are allies. We're here to acknowledge and not be afraid to say that bad things happen. We're not going to be revisionist. We're going to be very honest about it. So I, again, will acknowledge the victims of, I'm now going to just say the lead singer of Brand New, because I'm tired of saying his name.
Yeah, it sucks when people you look up to or enjoy their music, they turn out to be bad people. So
Yeah, they're complicated. People are complicated. Yep, it does.
But
especially an album we've been enjoying for so long now.
right. Yeah, and again, like, the reason why we're talking about this now is, like, we're talking about a completely different band, but it came up. Like, it just it's connected to so much. But the other thing is, we have to acknowledge it. We can't brush it under the rug and say these things didn't happen and there aren't people in this scene who were hurting other people, because this scene continues. As I said earlier, like, we're elder emos, we're emo adults, and now people are bringing their kids to shows. This scene is going to
You wouldn't want that
continue.
to happen to your kids.
No. And we want this more inclusive, safe place. That's what we always want these shows to be. And there are plenty of bands who are creating that space. Like we've talked about the MyChem, how MyChem was very much telling the crowd, like, on that episode, our Renati was saying, like, they were like, to the women, like, don't let anybody, like, make you do things you don't want, or say, like, really put people in bad position. Like, they were very much like that, trying to create this safe space. And I think that continues, and that's really where we want to keep going. So 20 years from now, the bands that are coming out now won't have, hopefully, these issues anymore.
Yeah, and just raising the awareness too for the fans of, like, you can meet your idol and they might not be who you think they are. So
yeah,
be cautious.
And you could still enjoy a song like "There's No I in Team" and divorce it of its actual meaning, because that's the thing. Like, and sometimes we just fall into this when we're doing deep dives on songs and we read articles, we like hear stories about what songs were actually about, as opposed to us just analyzing straightly, like, taking the author away. We do, it's just kind of part of the fabric of these songs that there's going to be mentions of not necessarily people you want to be celebrating, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff, September's around the corner, and it starts getting cold. At least in New Hampshire. I don't think does it get cold in LA?
It's going to be 100 degrees next week, so no.
No, yeah, no, okay, no, yeah. Yes, but yes, September starts getting cold up. It's already starting to get cold up here. Low of, like,
leaves are falling here.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's I feel like everything's slid up with the weather. Like, everything's moved up a little bit more.
What is Portland fall like? Is it beautiful? Is it rainy? I bet it's rainy.
No, it's actually going to be kind of warm.
Oh, nice.
Is it?
The weather's so different here now than it used to be.
That's what, like, it's gotten hotter now, right? And
yeah, like it was in the hundreds last week. So
wow,
or 90s or whatever.
Portland's not built for that.
No.
No one's built for that. Let's be honest.
I
No
am,
one's.
but
Yeah, I'm not.
I
I
love
am.
the heat. So
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here in where half the year in New Hampshire my face is cold and it hurts.
I
That's
bet.
for
Yeah.
I'm okay with that though. That's where I want to be. It keeps it it's an allegory. There it is for me and who I am.
You know, Phil,
It's not where I come from. That's not bad. That wasn't that bad at all. Jeff, let's talk about the great romances of the 20th century. And do we really think this relationship is one of the great romances of the 20th century?
that might be an ironic title.
Maybe.
uh,
Oh God, that's gotta be. It's
Is
like
he
that's
still in
like
delusion about this girl from a couple songs back?
I feel
no,
like it's the same character, just kind of moving themselves forward. And now we're talking about the emotional toll of everything. I mean, it's everything. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart, Jeff. It's falling apart.
I mean, yes, and the September Never Stays This Cold where I'm come from. Like they're talking about the feeling they're getting from their partner at this point. Like that's the
Yeah.
cold, right? Like, oof, this person. I mean, that's the
Right.
thing. Like to me, their partner is going through the emotions. That's how I feel about this. Like they're just like, get this over with. Like there's no love here. It's a dying relationship.
It's a relationship on its way out, and that I don't know that does he refer to
Yeah, because he
her
says I'm
as
not one for complaining, so I feel like he's just gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
but she is definitely done with this. She's like, come on, like let's just get this over with and just call it. It is not worth going forward anymore. I mean, I kind of take it like that, where it's not worth moving forward anymore.
Yeah, because it's like if it's not keeping you up nights, then what's the point?
Which is
Like, yeah, so it's like
one of my
if you don't care, then
yeah, that line
Right.
is everything. That's the key, right? Like that's just what putting on the table. Like, yeah, if you don't care about it as much at this level, then it's already dead, and that's
Right.
I love the delivery of that line.
yeah.
I think he even it's funny. He's also like trying to tell himself it's not as bad as I think. I think he's trying to kid himself a lot of lines because he's like, I never said I would take this line down. I've crawled home from worse than this, from worse than this. I don't think that's true. I think you're kind of you're trying to kid yourself or convince yourself that maybe you have come home from worse, or maybe I don't know. Definitely, it's just
Or it's like you can keep treating me like shit, and I'm like I've been through worse. So
see, it's like that's what I love about the lyrics is like you can go two ways with that. You can either say he's trying to, or he's like, no, he's like, I think maybe we can salvage this because I've come home from worse than this. I, I don't think you're going to though.
Well, there's also like he's still trying. Like at the end, like I'm in your room. Is this turning you on? Am I turning you on? I'm in your like. It's like he's not giving up. He's still putting himself and trying to like keep it going.
Always felt kind of creeped out by that last
Oh
line.
yeah.
corner of your bed again.
Yeah, no, it's super creepy.
Is she awake?
It's super creepy. It's like because it's like you're not even like lying down next to each other. No, he's sitting in the corner of the bed, like kind of
like he snuck in there.
Yeah, like what are you doing in there, guy? You can't just sneak into rooms and then think this is gonna make the situation better. What is it with like these weird, creepy moments in girls' bedrooms? Like, guys, I think we should just, as a writing thing, don't put it in there. It's just it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I don't know if you're really invited into that room. It's like a lot of stuff, like a lot of questions.
Yeah, red flags.
It's red flags, red flags. Yeah, it's red flags, not yellow, not green, red. The solid red flag, red flag. Oh, that's just, now I'm bothered even more. But yeah, no, it's definitely. I don't think this is definitely a great romance of the 20th century, and I think you're right, Jeff. That is a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic thing to say.
I think this was the first single.
Hang on, I had a note somewhere on there about that, and I feel like that sounds right. Yes, Great Romances was the first single. You have any idea what the second single was?
It was the one with Flavor Flav in the video.
Yeah, no, you're so last summer.
Yeah. Yeah, cute without me was never a single.
Never a single. It's the biggest song they have. Yeah, it's one of the biggest songs they have. Yeah, never a single, but they made a music video, but never officially a single.
Yeah. was never. Yeah, it was the Fight Club video, and then yeah, You're So Last Summer and Flavor Flav, Chef's Kiss on that one.
That how'd they pull that one off? I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's what I do know. I love the title of the next song. It's called Ghost Man on Third.
Love the title.
I love that
The
title
title.
because I haven't thought about Ghost Man on Third since I was a small child. Do you know what this is a reference to?
I don't think so.
Back when, I don't know if kids still do this. If you're playing baseball or something like 3 people or 4 people,
Right.
You bat, you pitch, and maybe you have 1 fielder. You get a hit, you would say, since you can't run the bases, you would say, okay, there's a ghost man on first. So next hit, ghost man went to second. So your runners are all ghosts. So
Gotcha.
that's what I think it is, because that's what my sense memory brought back to this. Like, oh, we have a ghost man on third. So if you get a base hit now, that person's going to score.
That's
someone who's not really there.
It's someone who's not really there. I think that's ultimately kind of the point of the song, isn't it?
Exactly.
Kind of the point of the song, isn't it? Right? Living like this is what living like this does. It makes you into something that's just not there. Unseen. I wrote that word. That was the word I wrote down. It makes you into something that is unseen, like a ghost.
Yeah.
I used to be a writer. Used to actually, do pretty well with writing things down.
But still are, Phil. Still are.
I'm not bad. Yeah. So I feel a very personal song,
and
it's one of the few. I don't think it's about I guess in a sense it's about a relationship, but not like a real relationship like between 2 people. This is kind of a mental health song.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very personal song.
Yeah, and it's like we've been leading up to that with all the depression and the anxiety that's like manifesting in these songs.
I know how it feels though. Like I remember as in high school where I got my license and I can finally drive. I remember being so excited to be like, you know what? Something's bugging me. I'm out. I'm out now on the parkway. Like I remember times, I'm not kidding. I'd leave and just drive to Montauk Beach on a Friday night and then drive back because that's what I felt like doing that night because I just wanted to be away from people. So it's funny to hear this song. I actually connect a lot to it, which is not hilarious, which is just good, I guess. It's just for my own mental health and all that. I feel a lot of connection to Adam, and because I assume this is from who wrote this one.
First of all, Phil, I love how Long Island emo you're dealing with problems was as you get in your car and drive on the parkway to.
I'm out. Yeah.
To Montauk.
Gotta go out to Montauk. Yes, and actually, hopefully it's still there. And then I would pull over and sit next to the Stargazer, which was that statue along the highway that was the deer looking up at the sky. Yeah.
Oh, see, deer look at the sky. I always thought it was like a deer eating a branch.
No, he's looking. I think he's looking up. I took it as he was looking up.
I actually always thought it was a rooster at one point too. Anyway, Bill, when we post this one on Instagram, you're gonna have to post a picture of the stargazing structure that we're talking about.
I gotta make sure to write that down. The Stargazer. I'm not gonna lie. I might have had a beer out there with the Stargazer. Yeah, that's underage. Those for who are counting, because I just talked about getting my license, and here I am now talking about beer.
I don't know anything about that.
Oddly enough, on this song, which has a lot of alcohol references in it, so there you go.
Yeah, what do you think this person is dealing with here? Is it an addiction or an abuse with alcohol and drugs? Like they're trying to keep it hidden, right? They don't want people to know about it.
They don't want anybody to know about it, right? Because it's he says that all the time. It's no one is to know about this. Like, so he's talking to. See, now I don't know if he's talking to himself or he's talking to somebody else who may have found out. Because he's definitely hiding things here, which ironically, that's why he's driving away, to get away from things. Trying to hide from it. As much as I love the joke, but he's definitely talking about alcohol. I think there is even a potential for like the self-harm in here because, and it comes in a couple of ways, because he says maybe has been sliced in inches from my waist, so there's self-harm, but I'm gonna go a little Shakespearean with that interpretation and go, well, it's also a pound of flesh, so you're in it, for a lot now at this point. And so whatever is the the vice is that's bothering you, you're deep into it. Like it's going to take a lot of work to get out of it.
Substance abuse and things like that could lead to like weight loss.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's that. Right. And so, what's the other part? He said, and it's a campaign of distraction and revisionist history.
Sounds like an addict to me.
Sounds like an addict to me. Maybe he hasn't fallen completely into the void and gone off the deep end completely. Maybe he's on the precipice of it, looking down at it. Maybe decisions have to get made here, whether or not we're going to continue with it, like what path we're going to go down. How's that, Jeff? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I also want to look at the first verse. I mean, you pointed out the line earlier, but I'm out and on the parkway, patient and waiting for headlights. I always took that as like, is he considering?
Oh, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, getting in front of that car or the headlights or something. Like
he's dressed in a fashion.
This could go all any manner of.
See, this can go anywhere now. Because we know it's not the hold steady. We knew it was about drugs. This is not about. It could be anything at this point because it could be both. Yeah, looking to basically step in front of a car. Never even got that far.
Well, because also going back to the title, like Ghost Man on third, this person doesn't really feel like they're there. They feel like they're not there, or are they like looking to become a ghost? You know, like
because
they're struggling so much with it right now.
Well, that's what living like this does. I mean, they say so many times that it's like it's starting to get that thought home that I think it's just living with mental issues, being unwell, being not, I don't know, unhappy, just being sad. I mean, even simple as just being sad. I mean, sad can start taking to other places. Depressed can take in a whole lot of places. So maybe it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, I kind of like. Well, I do feel like the way he screams and sings at the end, and he's repeating, "This is what living like this does." Like it just gets like really guttural and kind of like really breaking down.
Yeah,
it's like they're being tortured, and you're like, "Look what I've done to myself." Like I put myself. Maybe that is the warning, right?
Right.
Yeah. Don't be like me.
Don't be like me.
I will say, I'm pretty sure at some point around this album coming out, I had an away message up when I was feeling in a bad place, and I probably wrote, "This is what living like this does" with my away message, and then my friend would be like, "Jeff, is everything okay?"
Away message.
Yeah, I mean, if talk about an album full of away messages, this album
for sure.
Yeah, because the next song has got like 12 of them that you could just easily take anything from Timberwolves.
Yeah, but I think Ghost Man on third, it slows it down a bit too. It's one of the first songs to kind of we slowed the pace down. But it's a deep song about a struggle, and I think you feel it. You feel it in the song, and it really like hits those spots. And the way he performs the song, it's a little bit more streamlined than some of their other songs too.
Yeah.
Less of the back and forth here.
It's the one that kind of stands out. Because it doesn't. I don't think it fits the way the rest of the other songs style goes, structuring goes, and it's the odd man out for. There's no call and answer with this one, like at all.
Yeah, which makes it more personal too, in that sense. Yeah. Well, I think we should play Ghost Man on third.
All right, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, here is Ghost Man on third. So our next song throws I believe Phil, we gotta talk about it first.
I forgot. Sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Gotta reel it in.
Yeah. Sorry. I brought it back.
You know,
it's hard not to. It gets in your head. This one doesn't go away.
Oh yeah, no. This is the earworm. This one is so fun live. I mean, this is one of the quintessential Taking Back Sunday songs.
Very fun, but very dark lyrics.
Very dark lyrics.
Very dark.
Start with the title. I assume an NBA reference here.
Yeah, that's
basketball. It's gotta be a basketball reference. Yeah, right? Maybe something happened at this game that they went to. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because I have a lot of questions about it. Because one, we know they're from Long Island, so why they're not at a Knicks game?
Why are they at a Knicks game?
Wouldn't it be the Nets, New Jersey?
Or even the Nets?
It was New Jersey Nets for sure.
Oh, that's right. They were the New Jersey Nets.
So before, now they're Brooklyn Nets. So this time they were the New Jersey Nets, and Timberwolves are from Minnesota. So I don't, unless they're, well, I guess what I took from it is this song to me is about taking down the competition. And I guess having two basketball teams is like that's the inherent sport. That's what sports is, right? You need to.
Maybe that year they
Right.
went to like the finals or something.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't even know.
I'm not a basketball person.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
This
was
is
a
some.
I was a basketball person, but then I was a Knicks fan, and it's
Yeah.
been for the most part very hard to be a Knicks fan. So
Mhm.
I lost interest.
Do you think this song Jeff? He says like basically beating out someone else.
Mhm.
I got a pretty good idea who he's referring to in this one. Because I think again, this is another clapback at the lead singer of Brand New in so many ways, in so many lines that God, the opening line, like, and then when we were singing along with it, you didn't even realize how like clapbacky this is because like I think that you should know that those words at best were worse than teenage poetry, fragment ideas, and too many pronouns. Stop it! Come on, you're not making sense now.
It's like you suck.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. It's like
It's so good, and it's so like it's almost like petty, but I'm here for it. I'm all in. I'm all in at this point. And then the next part where I think he's literally describing the qualities of a lead singer of Brand New, like you're literate and stylish, and you're kissable and quiet. You're what every girl dreams are made of. Good golly, and that's all you need to know. You have it or you don't.
well, it's funny. Like it's funny that you're saying that it's about Brand New. I never thought of it this as a song about Brand New.
I see. I've always thought it was a song about Brand.
Yeah, I hadn't
Always.
thought
I've
that
always.
either, but what you're saying
I
makes sense.
I
Yeah,
always thought it was like, you know what, and you think I can't write a jammy song about, you. I sure shit can, and here it is. It's a banger of a song. I always thought was like, nah, I'm better. Here's why, because I don't do all this stuff. The pronoun joke is hilarious. I always found that one funny. Because a lot of the songs are very pronoun heavy over in Brand New.
what about
Just
that next verse though? Like that's where like,
Putting the gun in the mouth.
you have it in you. You're
Oh.
sick. You're sick of my time you're wasting, girl. We're just separating. Stop it. Come on. You know I can't help it. I got the mic.
and
You
you've got the
got the
mosh
mosh
pit.
pit.
Yeah, so it's like I think it may go back and a couple characters might be into it, but
Yeah,
that's so or that's how he's gonna hide it, and that's not about anybody else.
yeah.
I love that. I got the mic and you got the mosh pit. Yeah, then the other part, because Phillipa, you were out of the part about the gun, right? I kind of
It's
this
like
is
when he's
where
going dark again.
it going dark again. This is where I always go back to it. So this is me with the words tip my tongue, with my eyes on the scope, down the barrel of a gun. Remind me to never act this way again. So this is you trying hard to make sure that you're seen with a girl on the arm and your heart on your sleeve. Come on. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Yeah.
mean, that's exactly what that is. And then now the song I think has more weight to it because John's part is I know something that you don't know. And
Yeah.
I always took that as he knows something about the person of whom this song is being based on.
Totally.
I know some secret you guys don't know. And now I think actually is a bigger song than it was then.
It just shows how toxic their relationship was together.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, right? You feel like these two people would have been like the best of friends, but I feel like it brought out the worst of both of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
There's my crazy take for an episode, Jeff. There you go.
well, I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna get any angry letters over that one. We'll wait and see. Check your mailbox tomorrow.
Check my mailbox. It's gonna be
They were the
interesting.
most intense frenemies.
Yeah, that's
Right?
what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder. I mean,
And it would be hard to know your friend is doing stuff like that, and everybody thinks he's so cool, and you're like, well, he's actually
Yeah.
Well,
not that
you want to know the
great.
truth? Yeah, you want to know the truth? Come hang out.
Yeah, he's not that cool. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because there is like a rivalry for sure. I guess frenemies is a really good way to say it. I mean, and then like, if it is two people in bands, it means they both probably are cut from the same cloth. They probably see each other within each other. That's why they were friends. They're both trying to do the same things. They're both trying to write songs. They're both trying to like, be artists like this. And like, there's a rivalry there for sure.
Yeah. Hold
It's
your breath.
deeper than the music.
It does. Just hold your breath because you're gonna make it worse. right? I mean, it's just don't say anything. You're just gonna make it worse. Just stop it. I think, but Jeff, I think this kind of gets back to what you were saying earlier in what there's no I in team. Is that this is them saying like, look, hold your breath. You're only gonna make it worse, right? So let's just move on from this and stop
Yeah.
talking about it. But I'm gonna throw one more banger of a song in just to make sure I know.
Well, and then ultimately Cummings taking a step back. Like what for me, this song is, as we talked about earlier, it's got dark lyrics, but it's got such an upbeat, fast, fun, jump up and down sound to it. Like this, it like you want to be in the mosh pit for this song.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you want Adam to have the mic and you have the mosh pit because this is the one that this is a party. This is a party in the pit.
I remember when they would play this. If I was never a pit person because it's just not for me. However, when they play this, I would beeline it for it because I'm like, no, I'm gonna bounce around this one and see if I get broken ankles because I'm here for it. It's a great song. Great song.
Well, let's give the people the mosh pit they deserve.
As long as you keep the mic.
I will keep the mic. Here is Timberwolves at New Jersey by Taking Back Sunday. Next song, track 8 on Tell All Your Friends is the Blue Channel.
Not the red or the green, but the blue. You know the Blue Channel is the noisiest.
Is it?
Huh.
Yeah, it lacks sensitivity. That's why it becomes the noisiest. Here's your science lesson for the episode. Although I doubt that's what this is about. I looked that up. I was kind of curious.
I said this is a very unhealthy song.
Resoundingly by the sound of it.
Yeah. Very unhealthy.
Guitars rip on this, but other than that, it's like, whew.
Seems like another song where the more suspicion of infidelity. Yeah. Like, I mean, just how it starts off. I mean, I'm not so sure if I'm sure of anything anymore. Well, this is the last night that you'll be keeping secrets from me. Like, geez, yeah. Like, what does that mean?
Secrets.
Yeah.
Not good. It's not a good relationship. No, but he's aware of the relationship, but she doesn't love him anymore because like my pictures, they don't line your mirror. So because I always my sisters had that growing up, like pictures of boys, actors and things like that would be like around the picture frame. They're gone, but I'll still wait for your call. Even though my pictures aren't around your mirror anymore. I'll wait. That's cool. That's cool. What? But I feel like we get this weird like turn of events at the end of the song.
Yeah, I don't like the end.
I don't like that either. I don't like that. Do you know what your girl's been up to? Who are you talking to? Why are we bringing this in?
Again, like, what? He was stalking her, and now he's calling her boyfriend. And he's like, "Do you know what she's been doing?" And he's like, "No."
Bro, I don't. Who are we talking to? Jeff, who are we talking to? Do you know?
I don't know. It's funny. Like, I like Phillipa what you said there because it's like, is he calling up this guy that she's been like two-timing with? I guess is the if it was like the 1940s movie, it's two-timing. Or like this is where I was like, why I don't like it. I'm like, is he just this dude who now is just like lashing out at all women and like going to his buddy and be like, you know what your girl's been up to? Because look what's been happening. You know what I mean? And that's why I don't like it, where I'm like, now it's like going from like, oh, I'm hurt and sad that my partner's cheating on me or leaving me or whatever, to like being aggressive about it and like going to other people and starting shit.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's just not.
She might need a restraining order.
Yes.
No, I don't. Yeah.
It's been trending in that direction for a while. As the song's go on.
I feel. Yes, I feel like we're headed toward an emotional outburst.
Yeah.
Perhaps, and where 3 people are doing a call and answer. Maybe that's where we're headed toward. I don't know. But it's definitely we're leading up to something throughout the length of the album. You get a lot in 33 minutes. Like a whole lot of story in 33 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, this song, I mean, it's got a gut punch to it, just in its like how it sounds. It's just like you feel the anger here more so in this song, I think, than some other songs.
Yeah, it's like very visceral song.
Yeah.
Very gut punchy. Very gut punchy.
You know what, Phil?
You're gonna say something really sweet and enduring and lovely.
Yeah, you're so this summer.
Oh, this summer. That's so exciting. I was afraid I was gonna be last summer because I don't know.
No. I mean, Phil, boys like you are a dime a
Dime
million.
dozen.
Oh, that's so nice. So nice to say. So nice to say. Can we just get into the lyrics of this song? This is
Well,
another one that's amazing lyrics.
well,
Holy
yeah,
This is
yeah,
the jam of the album.
yes. This
Oh,
is we were talking about "You're So Last Summer," one of the great Taking Back Sunday songs, if not the best on the album. Um, yeah, let's get into lyrics here. I mean, "Boys Like You Are a Dime a Dozen" is the line of lines.
Mhm.
yeah.
Like to be told that, and that's basically like to me, it's a summer fling, right?
Summer fling. Right. Yeah. I mean, sexual things have occurred during
Right.
the opening
But
paragraph.
I
Big things
think
have happened. Yeah.
the I'll say girl and guy just for the sake of pronouns in this song, but like seems like the girl had fun, but that was it. It was a fling, right? That's all
He
she
was a dime
wanted.
a dozen.
He was a dime a
Yep.
Got a
dozen.
roster going, so
Yeah. Uh but I feel like he caught the feelings, and that's where the problem.
yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
always catching feelings for these girls who are not interested in him.
It's the MO of this character.
Yeah.
And it's such an over the top. Yes, he wants us to be something to her, and even at the end, he's like, "Well, if you just say I'm bad news, I know you're a liar. You're a liar." And it also has one of my favorite images, and very saves the day. But he's gonna like cut open his throat and then bleed on her shirt, and then you know what? I'm gonna apologize for doing so. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to. Sorry.
Love you lots.
So
Really tough.
it's so
Yeah.
big. It's so big and so 17, 18-year-old dramatic is a great word. Great word.
I mean, what is the how would we analyze a person who is that like a codependency?
For sure.
For sure, right? Like that has to
Mhm.
be,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
threatening suicide or just self-harm if someone doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Red flag again.
Red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this girl was right to only have summer fling with this person because look what it's like,
He's
even with just a fling.
unstable.
Yeah.
I'm a wishful thinker with the worst intentions, Jeff. Come on. That's
I love it. That line.
it's just like, oh, how am I gonna take that? Because I'm like, so wait, you're hoping for the best, but you
But
definitely have
hoping
the
nothing
worst.
happens.
Yeah, you've got hoping nothing happens, and you got the worst intentions out of all of us. I mean, it's just such a good line. Such a good line.
Well, he's hoping for the best, hoping nothing happens because he knows he has bad intentions. So
That's a good point. No, that's right. That's a good point.
I also love, after she says your boy's like you were a dime and doesn't let it go to your head, he tries to like fight back, like you're a touch overrated, you're a lush, and I hate it. And then he's like, these grass stains on my knees, they won't mean a thing. So he's down on his knees begging this person to be with him. Like,
Well,
even though
she said that to him.
is it? I thought,
yeah, no, she said, and then don't let it go to your head, boys like Dom doesn't. She said, you're a touch overrated, you're a lush, and I hate it, but these grass stains on my knees won't mean a thing.
Oh, because even though she hooked up with him, she's like, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. This
oh,
whole relationship doesn't mean anything.
Wow, I've always read that so
wash
different.
those jeans.
Yeah, that's so. I thought it was like they're going back and forth. That's so interesting.
I mean, I guess it could be.
It could be both. I guess.
About it's like the ambiguity of who's saying what.
Go every which way you want. That's the beauty of lyrics. They go any which way you want.
Well, because like the next thing is, and all I need you to know is that I'm something you'll be missing. And like that's what he wants. He just please miss me. Please love me.
Exactly. All he wants to do is be loved and miss me. But like, again, we're getting that weird line again. We're like, all right, but like, don't be creepy about it.
So.
Yeah. It's like time to walk away. Don't be creepy, you creeper. I mean, that's where this could go really quick. I mean, picking up on a theme.
If I'm just bad news, then you're a liar.
Yeah, that's me. What do you think? What do you think that's getting at?
That part in particular?
Yeah.
I think like she probably said you're bad news, and he's like, "Well, you're a liar. That's not even true. I'm not bad
right.
news." Like,
yeah. If I'm bad news, then yeah. But he's now it's like we can't believe anything you say. You're a liar. Or is he thinking that like she's lying to herself that she doesn't have feelings? Like he
That's
does.
true. Yeah, like you might actually like me. If you gave me a moment to see if you might even like me.
Bleed on your shirt.
I don't apologize for it. I'll buy you a new one. It's no problem. We got this. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Why is Flavor Flav in this video?
Why not?
Yeah, I think why not? I feel like he'll do anything.
I was trying to remember. This was before he had his reality show, right? So there was I think there was a brief moment when he was kind of not in the spotlight, I guess, at all. So I'm sure they were like, it'd be really cool. If we got maybe they knew someone who knew Flavor Flav. Like we could see if Flavor Flav wants to be in this video.
Yeah,
And it's awesome because Flavor Flav is lip syncing to the song in the video. Like I love it. It's so good. It's
just one of those where you're like, I don't get it, but I think I like it because it's kind of strange, and I'm kind of here for it. Yeah.
So what, Phil? Your So Last Summer is the penultimate song on the album.
That's correct. It is. It is the penultimate song on the
album. And we're going to play it right now because we have to play it. So here is Your So Last Summer by Taking Back Sunday. Your So Last Summer. The song is So Last Summer. We're moving on to Head Club. The final song on Tell All Your Friends. By the way, we didn't mention this. Thing that Taking Back Sunday did, at least the first few albums, I love that they would name their album off a lyric in a song.
Yes, loved it. I think it's the first three.
The first three do that, yeah.
I think the three, yeah. I always thought that was a neat way of bringing in a name for an album without giving ownership to one of the tracks and making it the titular
I don't like
track.
When the track title is the same as the album title. I don't know.
See, we had a whole conversation. See, we've had another episode. We've had a whole conversation about this because it comes up a couple of times where the Saves Day, right? Because that one's out. So through being cool, that was a great question. We had a debate on that one. Like, can you
Ocean Avenue on Yellow Card?
Ocean Avenue, right? We've got The Cure. For another one is, I like it because then I like letting albums have their own names because then you just let that register and let it be its own thing instead of creating such
confusion.
Yeah, or cadence onto one particular song that above all else, this is a song that but then sometimes it works. Like Black Parade is a great one. I mean, although the song is called Jeff, you pointed out in the episode, it's Welcome to the Black Parade, not just Black Parade. So.
Well, you know what I think it's always worked for me, having the lyric be the title of the album. When I read the title of the album, I hear it sung to me. And and will you tell all your friends from Q without the E? Or then on the next album, where you wanna be, where you are. It's there. Like I get like the song of it, the melody of it, or I guess, or the sound of it in my head, as opposed to just reading and be like, oh, that's the same song. I don't know. I like it. I always thought that was a fun way to name albums. But this album's over. We're at Head Club.
Head Club. How do we feel about this as a closer song?
I love it as a closer. I think it comes in fast, it comes in hard, and it's a lot of the same feeling.
Yep.
I also believe there's a journey reaches its end at this song, which is I really appreciate.
Yes, that's what it's like we've spent all this time to kind of come to this, I don't know, cathartic moment.
Yes.
Where he's like, I am done writing songs about you. And I think the you is everybody he's talked about, because they've talked about a couple different people. It doesn't matter.
He's got beef with a lot of people. So
it's like, I mean, that's Long Island for you. We hold grudges. But like I just, because he does reference sweetie, so I meant like but really, because that word has come up a few times, and I just find the way Adam says sweetie kind of an endearing way, and I don't know why, but it's like
it's very condescending.
It's very condescending. It's extremely condescending. I know, but it's like up here in New England when someone calls you hun or pal. That's not good. No. So I feel like sweetie's the same kind of thing, but the way he says it, it sounds magical, but it's totally condescending. But Jeff, you were right. This is building to the final release. That is the last 2 minutes of this song, where it's just three guys singing and screaming. And I love that they bring in the third guy for the call and answer. So you got John, and I forget who's doing the screaming part, because you got the scream part, the loud part, and then there's Adam just doing all these other lyrics in between the two. It's so amazing.
They're just singing on top of each other, all this stuff. But all you get is don't call my name out your window, I'm leaving. So you're literally leaving the album with the person finally getting out of the situation,
right,
and making the decision to go.
Yep.
Which no one's been able to do with this entire album.
No, and no one's been able to do anything. And it's like everybody's kind of feel stuck. Like they're all stuck in these relationships and in these situations that are not conducive to betterment.
No.
But then you get this song, like, no, I am out. Only thing I don't get.
Finally, you know.
Yeah, well, finally,
About
we're getting
time.
out. About time.
Leave that bedroom.
Jeff, why do you think it's called Head Club?
This is literally a question I've had in my mind for 21 years. I for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if this is true. Is Head a name of a company for like tennis gear?
Maybe. I don't know. I always now I gotta look it up. Head.
I can't. I could be. I don't know why. I always imagine a tennis club for some reason. I don't know why. That's
Looks
just
like
what
it
popped.
is.
Oh, it was right. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. For some reason, I always like went to that. But
Maybe
yeah, I'm not
the
sure.
back and forth
No,
of tennis, maybe.
Yeah,
They are. No, wow, you're right. You're right, Jeff. There is the Head Sport is an American Austrian manufacturing company, which was American tennis racket brand Head. It was around for a short time, around 1995.
well, there you go. I don't know why I thought that's been in my head for this, but it is. What do you think? I don't know. I'm very old.
Phillipa, did you have anything?
I'm not. I'm still thinking it over.
Okay. This is legit what I've always thought. I'm not kidding. It's a tongue-in-cheek reference to the last song. About grass stains on knees.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah.
That's the only thing I ever could think of. And that's it. And I always was like, I bet
Yeah,
that's
right?
what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
It
That's all I
probably
got.
is.
Yeah.
That's all I got. But now we're out. I'm out. We're the part. What do you think about how it how it ends? Where like the last two lines is just a scream. It's not Adam anymore. It's not John anymore. It's just the scream at the end. How do we feel about that? Does that make sense?
I I think what you're saying is weird that it's not the two singers of the band with the last line of the
Yes,
album.
that's much more. You said that much better than I did.
I
Yes,
think it's
that's
kind
what
of
I
like
did.
what Jeff was saying earlier. Like he's done with it, so like he's not even singing anymore. Somebody
Yeah.
else is going to do it for him.
I think that love
He's
that. Yeah.
completely out.
I love that. I love. Okay, I love every second of that. I'm not going to ask any more questions. That was amazing. I loved every second of that.
But yeah, the part in the song, I know you mentioned the line earlier, Phil, but like when he says, I can't say I blame you, but I wish that I could. I'm sick of writing every song about how he like belts that out. I'm sick of writing every song about you. And then it goes into the don't call my name out the window and leave. Like, it's just,
It's we've done a lot of shows now, and I find not every album has a great opener and closer. And I feel like it's kind of a struggle for some bands to do that. They're good at one or the other. And again, I think this is one of those albums. It is a good opener and a good closer.
yeah.
Guaranteed. Yep.
Only 10 songs too, like a really
Yeah, goes by
tight
so
album.
fast.
Tight album. Very
There's
tight
really no, sorry to step on your questions, Phil, but I feel like there's not really like skips on this album. It's a tight album.
This is probably this was up there as one of the albums where I had the most difficult time trying to make decisions on. Well, then we'll go the other way. How hard is it to come up with the best song on the album? I mean, come on. This is a tough.
It is.
All right. Let's get into it then. Let's just. I'm gonna just rip the Band-Aid off and go for it. You ready? Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Jeff and Philip, I'm gonna ask you questions about the album, and I want your most sincere response.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff, what do you think is the best song on the album?
Bike scene, baby.
Bike scene. I should have seen that one. Should have seen that one happening, but here we are.
You're only counting the clock in the train, and I'm miserable.
Yeah.
Put it in my veins.
That is such a Long Island song because all I think about is like the LIRR and just sit at the station waiting for the train to come in, and it's just such a.
It's a very Long Island.
Or you're in Penn Station waiting for the train to come, and it's just. And it's probably that because it's nothing you've nowhere to go, and that'd be miserable waiting for the train. You guys are like in a fight. Oh, it'd be horrible. All right, Philip. What are we gonna do? What is the best song on the album?
Tie for me. I really can't pick one up, but I'd say Bike Scene for sure, and then You're So Last Summer.
Yeah, those are the two I was thinking about too. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna allow a tie. So because I'm gonna allow a tie. I think it's cute, cute without the E cut from the team. I think that's the
Well,
best song.
it
that'd be
is.
number 3.
It is. It is. It's the best
Right.
song. It's just such a good song. There's a lot of nostalgia with it because they shot it at our college and we were there and we couldn't get anywhere near it. I remember that they were
Oh,
like
wow.
shutting it down. Yeah, I think it's my favorite. I think it's the best one. I think it's the best one. Okay, Jeff, let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. What is the skip you're gonna do for this song? What is the skippable song on this album?
This was a tough one. I only recently landed on it. I'm gonna say "Great Romance of the 20th Century,"
Great romances.
which I remember back in the day. I used to love this song, but I think going through it
It's a little
now,
meh.
it's fine. It's a little bit. This definitely feels like the song they wrote before they figured out their formula a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
the elements are there for sure, but it does kind of start off like a little bit like pretty standard emo song.
Yeah, you have to wait for a while
Yeah.
before it gets good.
Yeah, and also the creepy part about being crawling in the bed and that's
Yeah,
doesn't help its cause.
doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the cause. All right. But what about you?
I feel like there's a couple where I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna skip it, but then you just have to get through it and then it gets good. But I'd say Ghost Man on Third is a skip.
Mhm.
I think maybe it's just a little too like down.
Now,
just too-
yeah.
Slow
It's like,
down.
yeah, I'm
Well-
depressed, but now we're getting really depressed, and I just need to go skip past that one.
It's you're so funny you said that because twice on this album, Jeff, I play the game that you used to as you talk about a lot of the show is like I will skip this song to get to the next song,
Mhm.
and twice I do that on this album, and I will like all right, Ghost Man, I'll kind of because I want to get the Timberwolves,
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
Blue Channel because I want to get to Your Show Last Summer.
Yeah.
Ironically, I agree with you, Jeff. Though I think the Great Romantics, the Romance of the 20th Century, is it's such an outlier, and like the string horn section that only happens in that one song, like really makes it off for me. So I'm gonna agree with you there, Jeff.
Mhm.
What's the sleeper song?
This is hard.
What's the one song everybody's sleeping on?
I'm still struggling. This is going to be in the moment. I'm going to make a decision. People are sleeping on. I feel like no one's sleeping on any song on this album. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
I mean, this is the problem when you have such a quintessential album like this that it's like, what do people? So how about we?
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'm going to go with. I'll explain why. I was going between, how I do the first track, and I was going and Head Club the last track. I'm going Head Club because I feel like it's probably a song they play the least of the songs, I imagine, just because they don't necessarily have the other person to do the screaming all the time. I mean, obviously now they do these like anniversary tours, they play the whole album's entirety and stuff, but I think it's the last song because it is kind of a quicker song. It cuts right to the emotion. It's a lot of repetition, but like it's so important to the album. You need to get the catharsis of this song, and maybe you don't get there because so your So Last Summer was right before. Maybe turn it off
I
after
want to
that.
repeat that song a couple times.
Yeah.
So.
Phillipa, how
I
about
picked
you?
the same one just because, like I was saying, I could play Your Last Summer or Sir Last Summer over and over, and then you don't really get to Head Club sometimes. So yeah, I'd choose Head Club.
You guys you're on the right path, but you chose the wrong song. I do that. The same thought process
but it's the first song, so it's like
because it's the first song, and I like it because I was on this. Literally, those were my two options, the same options I had, and I was like, it's such a great end of an album, but like this is such a great opener of an album, and I feel like it gets lost in the singles and in the even in the non-single that is the third trim and what I thought was the best song. So same, it's funny, we all went the same kind of way. It was either gonna be the first song or the last song, but I'm gonna go with the first song. You know what? You know how I do. It's because I'm so sick of being tired. No, so tired of being sick. It's just what it is.
Well, I get it.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's funny that both of you picked the same song to be the best song, which is Bike Scene. Do you want to hear Bike Scene right now?
Hell yeah. Here is Bike Scene, voted by two of us as the best song on the album. Well, that is the episode. Philippa, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your love of this album with us. It's the best. Hopefully we can see you again in the diner. Maybe there's some other albums we can dig into. Phil, is there anyone we want to thank?
There is. I want to say thank you to my wife, the executive producer, who always wants to make sure I guess I'm dressed well. I often say that because, well, she cares about it. I think she even picked out my cardigan. Folks at home, I'm wearing a brown cardigan, even though we're recording this in August. Brown cardigan. That's how chilly it could be. Yeah, so I'd also want to make sure you guys follow us on the Instagram, the Facebook,
The TikTok.
the TikTok. I was like debating whether or not when this would
No,
land.
no,
Like,
it'll
land, it'll land. So yeah, so the TikTok, which is now up and running. You don't really need to go to Threads. I don't do too much with that. There's really not much there. I think it's kind of quiet. I think the threads are knotted up. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing.
There's more activity on our MySpace page than there is in our Threads.
We're talking about a burn. Oh man. Jeff, how easy is it to have a podcast on Spotify?
Super easy. You can do it yourself. All you have to do is use Spotify for podcasting, and you can do it all right there.
Maybe we do a podcast just about. I said podcast. Maybe we could do
What's
a
a podcast?
It's I don't know, but we're gonna find.
Do you want to do a potter? Would you want to do a pottery class instead?
Well, I was thinking maybe it's a Harry Potter, so it's a Harry Potter cast, or it could be about making glazed pots.
Harry
so that's
Potter figurines.
Hot Potter. Glazed
like
Harry Potter figurines. I like that best of all.
I want a podcast on just Phil talking about the weird locations on Long Island where he had a beer when he was underage, like outside the stargazing structure.
I'm pretty sure that'd be like 1,000 episodes.
Oh, see?
Maybe some bonus content.
Longevity.
Yeah. Put it on the never mind.
The thing.
I was waiting for to see what that
The page. I was gonna say, put it on the Patreon, Phil.
the Patreon. Yeah, I could do that. Jeff, I'm gonna end the show this time. I'm gonna say, Jeff, you will never be cut from my team.
Aw. So you're saying I'm cute with the